All right, YouTube, I've been in the market for a small DC inverter welder. I've seen them all over the place. Some of them are really cheap, yeah, all the way up to like an ESOB, where they're $700–800. So I ended up picking up a YesWelder just to try it out. As you can see, this is the ARC-205ds Pro. It does do lift start TIG as well as shielded metal arc welding. I didn't buy the kit for TIG, so we're going to be testing it out with the arc welding today. Just to go over a couple features, this is the ground clamp that it comes with. It's just kind of okay. I'm used to the old traditional solid brass clamps, but I realize they're trying to meet a price point. The connector that goes in the welder is a DINS 3550, and they give you just shy of 10 feet of cable. I will say this cable feels awfully light, and you probably can't see it in the video, but if you look at it, it's copper coated aluminum. I'm sure it's sufficient. Here's the electrode holder. Once again, I'm used to a little better style, but I'm sure they're trying to meet a price point. They've included an adapter. This welder will work on 110 and 220. And you get a look at the instruction manual. It's actually, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this, but it's well written. It's legible and understandable. You can see we've got 100% duty cycle on 220 volts at 158 amps and 100% on 110 volts at 112 amps. That's a pretty good duty cycle. And it goes on about the welder's other features, which I'm going to show you in the video. You can see this thing's small. The shipping weight from Amazon was just shy of 14 pounds. For reference, here's my lunch box. You can see this thing's tiny. You can see I've got this plugged into 220 and it automatically switches, so you can see that it's 220 volts right there. They actually give you a mode button. It goes between TIG and stick. The parameter button, you can see that's hot start and arc force. The hot start is adjustable between 0 and 10. Basically what that does is give you, I believe, a higher amperage when you're starting to weld. The arc force I haven't played with a lot yet. This is also between 1 and 10. I think that just gives you a little steadier weld if you feel like your rod's running cold. I'm just going to throw my DC amp clamp on here. I want to see how close it is to the rated amps. Providing my amp clamp's accurate, we're showing 163 amps max at 220 volts. I think that's okay. I didn't expect it to be the full rated 205. So that showed about 100 amps when we're 125 on the welder. It did seem a little bit cold, but we're going to set up and try a couple beads and have you guys watch. I'm running an ESOB 7014 1/8 inch. I don't want to get into a full dissertation, but the 70 stands for the tensile strength. That's 70,000 pounds. 14, at the end of it, that denotes whether you're running a cellulose rod, low hydrogen, or what your position is. You can see I'm not a professional welder, but that's not too bad. So here I have a 1/8 inch. This is a Lincoln Excalibur 7018. We're going to give it a try. You see, I'm having problems keeping this rod lit up. I've readjusted the amps to 150. Like I said, since it's not accurate, we're going to keep bumping it up until we can get a good bead. It's always a good idea to let your weld cool down before you chip off your flux. We've allowed our weld to cool down. We're going to see what we got. That's not too bad. All right, I've got the welder switched over to 110. We're going to run a couple rods. First thing I want to do is see how many amps it's putting out. So you can see we've switched over. It automatically switches to 110, and the readout, that's the max. 146 is all it'll go. So now we're going to strike a weld and see how many amps we're putting out. So it looks like we're only putting out 114. I'm going to try to run a 3/32 7018. That might be a little high on the amps, but I'm going to see how it runs. Got a Hobart filler materials 332 7018. I'm not perfectly straight and I don't have all the flux off of it, but that's a fair looking weld. Here are my impressions. This is a decent welder for, I think I gave $110 for it shipped. It was on sale. I wouldn't hesitate to tell anybody to buy one. You know, if you're looking for a hobby welder, something small, portable. It does weld different than the old transformer welders that I'm used to. I can't explain that. If anybody else can explain that to me, I'd love to hear your input. But it is a little different. Thanks a lot. I hope that helps someone out.